Hello everyone, I'm Filip Manuilov, and in this video we'll be diving deeper into the semester 1 work and more into the architectural realms of my master's program. So since the previous video, I know that my current studio is finally and luckily is about a stone, so it's called Quarrying the Vernacular, Quarrying the New Vernacular, and it will be all around this topic, which I'm really excited about. So we had our tutorial, but it was fairly introductory, it was an introduction to the theme, and we didn't do much during that tutorial. We just got to know each other, got to know the tutors, got to know who we're studying with, stage 5 and stage 6. We got a mixture, about 11 people, 6 of them are stage 6, so a year above me, and 4 of them are the same year as I am. And we will be going to, they also spoke a bit about where we'll be going to, so we'll be going to Edinburgh, and we'll also be going to some quarries around Scotland, which is really cool, I think. And our task is to make a video, actually, which I was wow, exciting, another video to make, which I'll probably be including later on, maybe as a separate, maybe in this one. Anyways, so the task is to make a video for our topic of interest, and which could be related to the reading, and the tutor sent out us a reading list for the tutorial that we just had and the one we'll be having next week. And one of them was about building and using stone as a building material, as a cladding material, obviously the combustibility or non-combustibility rather of the stone, and also the traditional building ways as stone was used in the ancient times, and it still is used widely in the construction industry. So there's a bunch of topics to explore, and we haven't been given a specific one, but anything that kind of has interest for us personally. And for me, I would say I'm quite interested in the proportions and the aesthetics of the stones and the buildings as they were used and created traditionally. So the classical orders and the medieval architecture, the styles, and how the stone shapes were derived based on the various patterns and various orders that were used in architecture. And I think this is quite an important thing to be understanding these various scales and various proportions and how they interconnect geometrically, and then bringing this geometry into the world of stone and actually this craftsmanship and the stone masonry. And I think this is a huge topic to be exploring, and this is probably what I will be basing my video upon. And in order to approach this, as I'm based in Newcastle, I decided to follow a specific route and identify several buildings that are historical and that range throughout the different eras and different times. And I outlined about 10 buildings, 10 structures that are not necessarily actually buildings, that are made of stone and that are local and present in the Newcastle. So I will be doing a small tour around the city actually right now. Hopefully I get enough sunlight for this. And I will be filming various stone details, stone work, stone connections, and I will be sketching them later on as much as I can, trying to analyze how they combine into different shapes and how different stones are interconnected with arches, with just different shapes and so on. So trying to get as much understanding from this as possible. I kind of like this first-hand exploration. I think this is one of the best ways to be learning, especially architecture. Just keep going there, exploring, seeing how things are actually made, and analyzing them, because if you just look at it, you're not going to get as much information of it as compared to you actually study and see how things are working together, how different elements are connecting, and all the different stones. I think as traditional methods and as an exploration from different times, because I will be ranging, like starting on from the castle, which was built in 1080, and then finishing off in around like central train station, the bridge. I think so. Like I will be seeing the various structures that are made of stone, and they're like super exciting to me. Some of them are partially demolished, so like the walls of the city, they're built in like 14th, 13th century. Some of them are just barely ruins. So this is also interesting to see how the stone weathered and how it was conditioned, and what parts of the walls are still remaining. Maybe that means they were more structurally strong and sound, and so on. So all this little analysis coming together, that's what I'll be doing. So let's go for it. Right, this is the list of buildings that I have, and I have about 10 of them. So 5 on this side, starting from the old castle, the Cathedral of St. Nicholas, and so on. And on the back side, they're all just getting more recent constructions. So the final one is the Leyen Art Gallery, and it's built in the beginning of the 20th century. And also you can see I got like a little map of my way. I'll be starting from just the Newcastle University, where I'm based right now. So like I'm in one of the studios. So I'm right here, and I'll be going, I'm not following the exact chronological order of things, but just to make it easier and combining it to one way. So I'll be going to St. Thomas Church first, and then I'll be going to the West Wall and Grace Street, Leyen Art, and going more south towards the river, where the final stop would be the bridge. It's about 5 o'clock right now, maybe like 1:15, and I'll be going. So you see it's getting darker, and I have to be really quick with my observations. As you can see, even inside the wall they used quite large stones. And obviously we have Grey Street over here with plenty of examples with stone architecture. I guess this would be 19th century, most of them. I'm seeing lots of decor elements. I have Leyen Art Gallery behind me, and it actually is more impressive than I thought it would be. Just look at the stone details, they're crazy. Also look at these pillars emerging from the ground. Very interesting. It's getting darker, and also the weather is getting a bit like wet and cold. So I'll be heading home for today, and that will give me plenty of information and things to explore. I mean, especially Grey Street is like a collection of stone buildings, which is absolutely incredible. So this will be a good start. I'll try to do sketches tonight, and we'll continue from tomorrow. It is the next day now, and I am continuing the exploration of the historic stone architecture. So behind me is the Church of St. Nicholas, and I'm also going to be approaching the Newcastle Castle. Managed to get up on the keep castle, and the view from here is quite spectacular. entrance to this particular tower is actually quite low. If you want to see, it's just about waist height, honestly. For my stone study, I want to explore several things, but in particular, I want to explore the significance of proportion. Before starting any construction, it is essential to carefully plan out all parts of the design, both the layout and the appearance of the entire building. According to Vitruvius, three key elements must be considered for any structure: functionality, durability, and beauty. A building cannot be considered truly complete if it's functional but not lasting, or lasting but not functional, or if it has both qualities but lacks beauty. In stone architecture, proportion is the foundation of both beauty and stability. From ancient structures to modern designs, the way materials are measured and balanced plays a crucial role. In my exploration, I want to understand the key principles outlined in the 4 books of architecture by the master mason Palladio and connect it with the local history of Newcastle. I have selected several buildings that range through the periods starting from the 11th century up until the 20th century. As I will be going through this presentation, I may not go too in depth on a particular building. However, at this point, I attempt to grasp the key concepts and principles that persisted through the times. Thus, it will be evident that stone is commonly used in conjunction with other building materials. Stone is commonly used in a load-bearing structure for its great compressive qualities. Here we see the remains of the walls of Newcastle upon Tyne, in particular the west walls. And it is evident how the thickness of the wall is directly connected with the durability. However, this particular case may be a little bit extreme, because these walls had also the purpose of protecting the city. I have also selected a range of religious structures, because they have been using the most advanced architectural knowledge at the time. And it is clear that the symmetry plays a crucial role in the structure. Pointed arch windows and ceilings are also a key element of the Gothic architecture. In earlier times, wood was used for the creation of ceilings and horizontal spans due to its good tensile strength. Later, it will be clear that wood is being replaced by steel for creation of even larger free-span structures, such as bridges. The use of stone in Gothic architecture is characterized by refined proportions for different stone elements, such as buttresses and vaults, using stone's load-bearing properties to create larger and more complex structures, like the cathedral we're seeing here. These structures had to adhere to the strict geometric ratios that are very important. Structures like that required a meticulous attention to the way stone is cut and produced, because different type of stones had to be used in different places. Grey Street has many excellent examples of Georgian architecture that uses sandstone and many of the buildings were designed by Richard Granger. These buildings feature balanced proportions and classical order that create a beautiful facade. The high-level bridge features a combination of stonework and steel, which creates a great span structure with both elements working at their best. It is important to understand that the different quarrying techniques have the impact on the proportions and the final output of the stone product. As the technology evolves, we're able to produce more accurate stone cuts and quicker manufacturing facilities. Careful calculation of the stone ratios also lead to minimal waste and optimal use of the material and reduced environmental footprint. Alright, so you've seen the video. I'm not gonna go too much into detail. It was quite self-explanatory. There wasn't enough time for me to do all the drawings for the buildings, but that's actually some of the things that I'm gonna be doing later on, and well, I'm gonna be actually measuring them now. I will put this all in the new video as the time goes on, and we have also got a task as a group actually to do some research on a particular area of Scotland. So we got quite a big one. We got from Glasgow to Edinburgh, and we're doing a mapping kind of project related to this area, and we're going to be putting a lot of information together, and I will also be covering this in the upcoming videos. So everyone, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one, subscribe to the channel, and bye bye.